guys, so I've been thinking of starting a booktube channel for a little while, and since I'm back home for Easter from university and I have my lovely bookcase, I thought I would start off with a bit of a bookshelf tour. So, the bottom, and not exactly my favourite shelf, but these are all my abuse books, so real life stories of abuse. Reading those kind of books is why I applied to my university course in the first place. So I don't read them so much anymore, but that's because I kind of deal with it, doing abuse studies, deal with it on a day-to-day basis. Then we have Twilight, the Twilight Saga. Not my favourite anymore, but when I was a little nipper, a little bit younger, as a teenage girl, it was one of my favourite book series. So next we have two books from the Morganville Vampire series. Again, not that great of a book series, and in fact, when I read those books, I didn't enjoy them that much anyway. So next we have Freya North, Pillow Talk, and now I'm not a fan of Freya North at all, which is why she's down on the bottom shelf. Next we have Amanda Hawkins' Switched. A lot of people like this book, but I really didn't enjoy it at all. Didn't want to continue with the series. Now these are some books from when I was quite a lot younger, early teens. They're all Kathy Hopkins, and yes, I enjoyed them at the time, but I don't obviously read them anymore. This side starts with my Jacqueline Wilson books, who was my favourite author when I was a lot younger. She does deal with like really good issues and writes about them in a way that children can relate to. She's a very good author, actually. These are the Meg Cabot Mediator series, which I really used to love, and also the Annie Dalton Agent Angel series, which I also used to love when I was a lot younger. Next we have the first two books from the Princess Diaries, and then we have Robert Swindoll's Room 13, which is a bit of a horror story for younger kids. Okay, from this side we have comic books. These are my Firefly and Serenity comic books. This bit is like my Buffy collection so far. Faith spin-off, Oz spin-off. There's 3 comic books in series 8. And we have the Dollhouse Epitaphs. They're all Joss Whedon spin-off comics. These are my One Direction books. Probably shouldn't say a lot about them. Then these are the Harry Potter spin-off books. Obviously the three actual spin-off books, and then the official tour guide up from when I went to the Warner Brothers studio tour in London. So this shelf is kind of my favourite books that aren't necessarily in a series. Some of them are, as we'll see a little bit later, but most of them are single books. Start this side with Jeffrey Eugenides, The Virgin Suicides. I just really like the way that book is written. I actually love it. I have got another Jeffrey Eugenides, and I do like him as a writer, but I think that book is absolutely excellent. Serenity, that's just the book of the film, so it is one of my favourite films, so therefore the book is also pretty good. Memoirs of a Geisha. I did really enjoy this book. It is one of my favourite books now. The Perks of Being a Wallflower, also one of my favourite books. And I know it's a lot of people's one of their favourite books as well. But I just really enjoy the way it's written. The main character is brilliant. So, The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. Now, a friend bought me this Lord of the Rings because she was kind of outraged that I hadn't read it. So she bought it for one of my birthdays, and it took me a long time to read it all. Pride and Prejudice is one of my new favourite books, and the Lizzie Bennet Diaries on YouTube. I really enjoyed that adaptation of it, and it made me go back and read it again. But I bought this one, and yeah, and I just really like the cover. So it's really pretty. Another book that recently came out, and it is maybe a little bit younger, for a little bit younger audiences than I am now, but Darren Chan's Zombie. It was really good and really well told, and the twist when you get to the end was excellent. The Name of the Star by Maureen Johnson. I did really enjoy this book again. This bookshelf is the books that I do really enjoy. A Walk to Remember. I actually saw the movie first, and I really enjoyed the movie. I'm not a massive romantic fan, but that movie, it was excellent. I did actually, this is one of the books I enjoyed less than the movie. The book has a lot more religion in it, and uses religion a lot more. So I didn't enjoy the book as much as I enjoyed the movie. Things are just falling, breaking. It's fine. Darren Chan's Vampire's Assistant. This is the first 3 books, I think. Obviously, The Casual Vacancy. I did really enjoy it. My John Green, Looking for Alaska, Paper Towns, and The Fault in Our Stars. All 3 excellent books. I have got the other 2. I have got An Abundance of Catherine and Will Grayson, but they are not on this shelf. I did enjoy Looking for Alaska the most out of them. I don't know what it is about it, but I think it's just a really good book. I won't talk about those 2 because a lot of you probably will have read them that have seen this. Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. Excellent book, and my brother's got it me for Christmas, and they don't really go into bookshops, but also The Clerk, the bookshop, recommended it as well. They said that's a really good book, and my brother was just stood there going, I really don't know what you're talking about. But especially if you like a lot of pop culture references, and you were born in the late 80s or the 90s, this is a really good book. Sherlock, The Adventures of Sherlock. I do love Sherlock, and I think the way Sherlock is written is exceptionally clever. And I've got another one. I have got a study in Scarlet, on to read. And you can get these if you live in Britain. There's a shop called The Works. They do 3 for £5, and you can get a lot of really good books there, for very cheap. So that's where I got that one from. The next ones are My Incomplete, Cassie Clare, the Infernal Devices and Mortal Instruments series. Another unfinished series, the first book in a series, is Holly Black's White Cat, and I did really enjoy that book. I haven't got round to getting the others in the series yet. I don't know if I will anytime soon, but that is definitely one that I would complete sooner or later. Amber Benson. As you can tell, I am a big fan of Buffy. Amber Benson, who played Tara, wrote this book. This is the first in the series, Kelly Hope Ripper Jones, and I think the last one just recently came out, so I'll definitely be continuing with that series. This, I heard a lot of good things about A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. It is a graphic novel. It is absolutely excellent. I do love Patrick Ness and the way he writes, and the way he writes about things in a way which anyone can understand. Favourite series shelf. So obviously on this side we have Harry Potter. We have A Broken Wand, a la Ron Weasley. Behind the picture we have George R.R. Martin's A Game of Thrones series. I do love this series. I can't wait for the next book to come out, and I'm really excited for season 3 coming out very soon. In fact, tomorrow, I think, on Sky Atlantic if you're in England. Patrick Ness's Chaos Walking series. I do absolutely adore this series. This shelf is my series books. So starts with The Dark Materials, His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman. I really do love that series. Then we have quite a few that are unfinished. Percy Jackson. I have not read any of the others in this yet. I did come to it quite late. Later than a lot of people, certainly. And I just haven't bought them yet. I would definitely read them, but it's just buying them. Uglies by Scott Westfield. I did enjoy this. Definitely would read the next 3 in the series, I think. I think it's a 4-part series. Flying Blind, a bit of a fantasy. A lot of my books are quite in the fantasy genre. The Iron King by Julie Kawaga. I think that's right. I'm currently reading The Iron Daughter. Again, this is at the works. Divergent. I haven't got round to reading the second one yet. Did enjoy this book, but it is quite, I think the genre now of dystopian is quite overdone. The Hunger Games, don't need to talk about them really. This trilogy, Delirium, Pandemonium, and the last one is Requiem, that's just come out, and I haven't got round to purchasing yet. This series, which is the wrong way around, no it's not. This series is the Echorium sequence. I haven't heard a lot of people talking about them. I did get them a long time ago. I think my mum probably bought them for me. Bloodstone Chronicles, sorry. I have got 5 books in that. Did really enjoy those when I was younger. They're a bit more horror story, thrillery kind of. Behind here, these are all L.J. Smiths, so The Vampire Diaries, Night World, and The Secret Circle. I haven't got all the books in any of those series, but I did enjoy them when I was younger. So to the top shelf, this is just where kind of all my other books go. Most of them are single books. We have John Green's An Abundance of Catherines and Will Grayson, Will Grayson. Life of Pi by Jan Martel has been a film recently, and it is a very good book, and a very good twist at the end is what people have been saying about the movie also. I would recommend that book. The Doctor and the Diva, one of the first things I picked up at the works when I first discovered that shop, if you like. I did really enjoy it. Nora Roberts, I am quite a Nora Roberts fan. From my mum is like a really big Nora Roberts fan, and from that I've become quite a Nora Roberts fan as well. I like the way she sometimes mixes fantasy into her books, and they're older. There's not that many books that have fantasy in that are for older readers, and especially adults. So I like the way she does that. Dracula, little bit of an old classic. Sylvia Plath's The Bell Jar. 20s Girl, just read this by Sophie Kinsella. Did really enjoy it, thought it was really funny, quite an easy read after you've read some that aren't so easy to read. Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, a big bestseller, and I did enjoy that. The Valley of Secrets by Charmaine Hussey. I did read this when I was a little bit younger, but it is a very good book, and again, fantasy, mystery, intrigue. Dan Brown and Dean Koontz, also James Patterson there. Crime is not my favourite genre at all, which is strange because I do quite like crime shows. Just don't like reading about it, don't know why. Warm Bodies, again, recent film. Wrinkle in Time, sci-fi, definitely a children's book, but interesting Alison. Player One. A lot of people enjoyed this book, but I didn't enjoy it as much. Jeffrey Eugenides, A Marriage Plot. Didn't enjoy it as much as The Virgin Suicide, but still a very good read. Confessions of Catherine Howard, for anyone that knows English history. The Tudors is one of the more interesting parts, and very young girl, made a lot of mistakes and was killed by Henry VIII. This Heart of Mine, a bit of a romance. Not my favourite genre, again, with crime. But it's a good read, well written book. Well, the only other crime book I have on my shelves, Mixter, James Patterson. Didn't enjoy it as much as James Patterson, obviously. Written by, I think it's written by husband and wife under the pseudonym Casey Hill. It's an alright read. If you like crime, it's good. World War Z, another movie coming out. Definitely not going to be in the same format because we like our films a bit more action packed, I think. But a good read, all the same. Sophie Kinsella's Mini Shopaholic. I do really like the Shopaholic series, very funny, but not my favourite book in the Shopaholic series. Get into some of the books I didn't like as much now. The Host by Stephanie Meyer, definitely a lot better than Twilight. Very interesting premise, but again, it's the whole love triangle, kind of old now, bored now. One day got this when the film was had just come out, I think. I think I would enjoy it a lot more if I read it now, but at the time that I read it, I didn't enjoy it as much as I didn't enjoy it as much as what people did. Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. I did really enjoy this book actually. I don't know why it's that sad. I do like this adaptation of Pride and Prejudice. Really interesting book to add zombies to. But I do like action books, and this is an action book. The Catalopatry, I'll put it there so you can see it, because I can't say it. I'm sure this is a tree that I should know about, but I don't. I did enjoy this book a long time ago, but the second time I read it, did not enjoy it as much. Very interesting premise. Very sensitive topics. Well, quite sensitive topics in this book. The Guardian Angel's Journal, a book I read recently. I think I was expecting a lot more from this book. Sounds interesting, coming back as a guardian angel of your own life. Nightmare on Underworld. Both these books I had to read for a reading challenge quite a long time ago in school. And they're both good books. Fantasy books. Good for kids, but probably not for adults. Sophie Kinsella writing as Madeline Wickham. This is The Gatecrasher. I don't enjoy her books as much when she's writing as Madeline Wickham, I don't think. I much prefer the Sophie Kinsella books because they're all funnier. Shiver. A lot of people enjoyed this book. Not me. I think the plot is lacking. The writing is quite bad. And she's in love with a wolf before she knows he's a boy. So that's cool. So if you like this sort of thing. Finally, Danielle Steele, Family Ties. Okay, so that's the end of the tour. I will link my Goodreads and my Twitter in the bottom bar. And I will hopefully be doing some book reviews or a haul, something like that, soon. So stay tuned.